Thank you for joining me. This is Joy Koff, and I have a special guest today that I am so excited that's joining me, Seon of Visionary Guidance. Hi, Seon.
Hi, Joy. Welcome to this moment.
So how is it in Sedona?
Actually, I have a better question. Sedona's great, but I want to be where you are. I can see you've got some nice building happening there. The nice view of the ocean. Anyway, I would show you the view of Sedona, but we're a little smoky. We got a little smoke and haze, but it's beautiful here. 91. You know, it's warm. It's the high desert. Welcome to northern Arizona, but it's great. A lot of tourism, but it has its moments up and down. It'll be gone by Monday night, and then Tuesday through Thursday, it's calm and relaxed, and then they descend upon us again. That's life here in Sedona.
So I wanted to reach out to you because you and I have been doing sacred journeys for, is it 6 or 7 years at this point?
Who are you? Yes, we have, my dear. We've been doing, was it since 2012? Yeah,
Since
2012.
2012.
So it's 8 years. If
It is
math
8
holds
years.
up, 8 years.
Mhm.
And we've been doing Teotihuacan, we've been doing Bosnia, we've been doing Egypt, and we're doing Sedona again.
So I want to talk a little bit about sacred journeys. I know what my experience is, and I know what some of the experiences that I've had from people in the past. And one of the feedback, or some of the feedback that I normally receive, is when someone becomes unplugged from the day-to-day life and just surround themselves in spirituality for a period of time, whether it's 2, 3, or 4 days or longer, a week. Time seems to stand still for them. And I'm not aware of what feedback you've received about this, but I want to tell you what I have gotten from people is these have been life-changing adventures for them. They're not the same when they come back. When they come back, they've received some additional guidance from their own inner guidance. They've come up with their own healing modalities, and they've really expanded their spirituality. What feedback have you received from some of the folks that you bring along on these trips?
Well, many of them they're always inspired by the earth. You know, of all the places we've gone, no matter where it is on the planet, no matter where it is in the US, they're always inspired. And it seems that when people unplug, obviously they have their cellular devices, and depending upon where we go, reception is there. Though it's more of a, for taking pictures and things of that nature, staying in touch with family and friends when they need to. But the idea of unplugging really crystallizes how much we as humanity take this reality of being physical. We're so busy, whether we are physically or mentally busy in those moments, we're always on a go, go, go. And especially in 2020, how very appropriate that this year has been so reckless, spontaneous, chaos, been reaching out for humans and the earth and all that's been going on. So to have a time to unplug, especially now, is sacred in itself, because you're coming here, especially if they come to our journey coming up for Sedona, it's a saturation. And that's what I hear from people. They literally saturate themselves in the present with, there's no forward thinking, no behind thinking, meaning past or future, and they're just in the moment. And when you're in the moment, that's where the magic happens. When one is present, that's when the excitement, and they just notice energetically. They notice themselves, they notice the others they're with. So that's what sometimes I get feedback about as well.
So I want to talk a little bit about the journey that you and I have coming up. We do have a partner in crime who's joining us.
Yes.
Neil, who works.
Where are you, Neil?
Neil, who works out of Miracles of Joy. You have done some co-facilitating with Neil as well. The two of you actually do this like multi-dimensional healing. So talk a little bit about that.
So the short story about that is Neil and I we have tables, and when we worked at Miracles of Joy, we bring tables in the back room, and we have anywhere from, a dozen to 2 dozen people that show up when I come into town, and Neil and I play for a couple hours, 2, 3 hours in the back room there at Miracles of Joy. My experience, of course, is just I go into that altered state, and I'm present, and yet I feel the toning coming through. We do laying on of hands. We just get into the space of beyond what we think we know about healing. We just get into this flow. We get into this connection, and we're with the person on the table. We're feeling what's going on with them, and he does his bag of tricks. I'm doing mine at that moment. So the two of us work on one individual at a time. And I believe, if I've got this correct, we're going to be doing one of these events during our 3 days in Sedona. And we've got some, the impact that it has. We always see people later on, and they don't, all they're doing is receiving, and it's overwhelming, expansive, integrative, all of these things. So that's what the multidimensional part of this is that it's all out of the box. I have no idea what I'm doing, where I'm going with this. We have our boundaries, obviously, with people, but at the same point, we're there to assist. And I know you yourself work with Neil. Don't you do something when you do those Addison fairs in
We do.
Texas? You
We
do
do.
a gallery, right?
We do a gallery. It's One with Spirit, and it's
Tell
a
me,
little
I
bit.
haven't been there in a while. I'd love to hear about it. What do you guys do?
We actually, when we get together and we do our One with Spirit, it's more. I'm not going to say it's a mediumship gallery. There is some mediumship, but there's also what kind of angels do they work with? What kind of frequencies do they work with? So where I come from is usually reading that energy around them, and Neil does the same thing about what are some of their guides, what are some of the frequencies that they actually work
Wow.
with on a regular basis, and how can they plug in and tune in to some of that information as well. So we actually do what I would consider mini readings based on spirit guides, those that have crossed over, and a combination of it all.
And that's what aren't you guys going to be doing an evening
Yes,
of that as well?
we are going to be doing an evening of that as well. And I believe you're going to also be doing an evening of channeling, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
One could say, Joy, yeah, one could say when we do these sacred sites, I'm always in and out of state, just like yourself
Mhm.
and Neil. Though with driving the vehicle around Sedona, I'll have to be a little aware of time and space. But bottom line is, yeah, I'm going to be offering a group channeling as well. And the magic about Sedona, we got a great hotel, but the magic about Sedona is it's a place that literally time doesn't stop. You don't stop. But what stops is the mind. It completely gets saturated in the beauty and the literal, the exposure to something that's older, you know, millions of years. If you do a little research on Sedona, there's some belief about it. We're at the bottom of the ocean here. The ocean used to be much higher than it is now. And after from 5,000 feet down to sea level. So obviously there's no water here. But when I first moved here, it's a strange thing to say, but you could walk in the back, like go to Boynton Canyon or something like that. And I would literally come across and I go, what is that? And it's not a rock. It'd be a piece, and it wasn't petrified shell. It would be a piece of a seashell. And you're going, you're a long way from home. But you would find some sort of artifacts. And Sedona's it's got its mystery, that's for sure. So bringing people here, they're in for some expression of their inner self, along with the mystery of being in the vortexes, being in the energetic. And that's the magic of Sedona. You come here, it's not like it's a mishmash of colors. There's very specific, all the structures, the houses, they've got, it's sort of like the Adobe Code in Santa Fe. So you're coming to a place that, even though it's a 14,000, 15,000 seater town year round, we get 4 million visitors a year. But there is this thing about keeping Sedona sacred.
So let's talk a little bit about our journey. Our journey is going to be November 30th through December 4th. And
That's correct.
and it is double occupancy, but with, COVID, if someone's not comfortable with double occupancy, we can still offer single occupancy at an additional charge. Um,
Correct. Correct.
I think the price right now is $16.75. That's going to include all ground transportation in Sedona, breakfasts, lunches, and a farewell dinner along with their room, all
Correct.
events. And the only additional charge is going to be their airfare and their way from Phoenix to Sedona, or those
Correct.
going to actually fly into Flagstaff, correct? Could they fly
Correct.
directly?
Yeah, that's something that's a little, it's not a, an unknown entity. Flagstaff is just about 30 miles straight up from Sedona, up the Mogollon Rim. And bottom line is you can fly from, if they're coming from your neck of the woods,
Mhm.
from Dallas, there's a couple of flights a day, I think, that come up to Flagstaff. And I use that airport a lot because
Mhm.
I don't want to drive 150 miles. But bottom line, there's a shuttle service that
Mhm.
comes from Phoenix, from Sky Harbor. That's the name of the airport in Phoenix, the international airport. So they get themselves there. We can at least guide them to arrange their service, and they can the transport will take them directly to the hotel. That's the cool thing about it.
So anyone who is actually watching this video now, if you mention that you've seen this video, we will honor the early bird special. So
Yes, we will.
that's $300 off of the journey.
That's
Um,
1375.
1375. We do have a group that is signed up already. I think we're looking to fill 4 or 5 more slots.
Right, I believe that's what we're looking for because we're trying to keep these intimate, and
Mhm.
sure, we can get a lot of people. Uh, my idea is to keep it intimate, maybe a dozen of us, because this way we have one vehicle instead of a couple vehicles, and we can always, it's a lot of fun. You get bonding with people. That's the other thing, Joy, when you were asking what people say, what I love watching is how people bond with the group.
Mhm.
Everyone gets really, 3 days doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're unplugged and you're not going to work, and of course during COVID, that is a very tricky thing as well. Uh, but that's the magic, is that you bond with the people you're with. I know it sounds strange, especially in these times, Joy. Uh,
Mhm.
what a wonderful thing to give yourself a gift to uh, just at the changing, before winter hits. And we do have winters up here. The temperature changes and we do get some snow. But in November, end of November, early December, we should be fine. It'll be chilly in the
Mhm.
evening. And that's the great time because up here we don't have a lot of weather in that sense of rain and things like that, unfortunately. Uh, but you remember last time when we did the tour last September, everyone really dug going out at night looking at the stars, and I took everyone to my favorite little hideaway, and there's no light saturation, and it's pitch. I mean, dark, and especially in the uh, fall to winter exchange, the stars are electric.
So let's give them a telephone number where they could reach us, say on
Hey, that's a good idea. What's that number over there at Miracles of Joy? Isn't it a 214 number?
at 972.
Oops. Or maybe they want to call you directly. I don't know.
We have a 1-800 number, so you could reach us
Right.
at 888
Right.
826 8721. 888 826 8721.
Leave
Call
us a
us up
message.
if you want any information.
You
Leave a
can go to our
message.
website.
If you want any information, you can also go to our website at yoursacredjourneys with an S.com. That's
Yes.
yoursacredjourneys with an S.com. Any questions you have, we do a lot of rituals and we're at the vortexes. You're going to be there for 3 days. We're going to be out. We have time for shoppings for those of you that would like to go shopping. If you're just ready to kind of unplug and just
And
spend 3 days,
immerse.
immerse and spend 3 or 4 days in your spirituality, or 3 or 4 days with a group of people who are like-minded, and just kind of unplug at this particular time. This is the journey for you. So if you have any questions whatsoever, or you need any additional information, by all means, reach out to either Seon and myself. Seon and Facebook, they can find you at Visionary Guidance, or Seon at Visionary Guidance.
No, it's just Facebook / Visionary Guidance.
Okay.
I think it's Facebook.com Visionary Guidance. Yeah, it's the business page. So yeah,
Okay.
they can find me there, and we'll put this video up on that site as well,
Right.
if we can.
And you can also find me on Facebook as well. If you have any questions, now we're actually doing this through Zoom. So if there's any comments that are out there that you want to make, or any questions that you have, I will be looking at this video. I'll answer any questions or comments that you make on Facebook as well. You can always reach me at Miracles of Joy, and my telephone number here is 972-221-8080.
Excellent, excellent. And whoever's watching this, we welcome you to come and explore. Sedona is a gem. I've been coming here since 1985. I moved here back in 1997. So I can just tell you that it's a fascinating place. And, we're human. So you get used to. I go to the grocery store, I get gas, Sedona, for so many people, is a destination city. It's such an interesting environment to live in, because it is a service town. We have a lot of visitors. I told you, 4 million per year. We get the overflow from the Grand Canyon just up the way, 3 hours up there. So the bottom line is, you come here and it literally is breathtaking, awe-inspiring, and where we're planning to take you, you will go, wow. And that's the bottom line. So it allows you to immerse, to connect, and we've got meditations and channelings, healings, and we have intuitive, dancing. with Neil and Joy, you'll be intuitively dancing, and so it'd be great to have whoever you are come along, come on down.
So thank you so much for joining me today, Seon.
Absolutely, Joy, anytime. And I'm sure Neil is here somewhere in spirit. I just saw some critters running around. I went, oh, that must be Neil.
And I will talk to you later. Bye
Bless
for
you.
now, guys.
Bye.